This girl was homegrown. I still have her mother in the collection. Her mother is due to lay eggs within days of her daughter, which is just awesome. Incredibly satisfying to see mum and daughter laying eggs within days of each other. So we've seen mum, we've seen dad, we've seen the pairing. Let's pull the eggs. Hi guys, it's Rob from Royal Balls. I certainly didn't want to leave the weekend on a down note, so I'm releasing another video today with some of the upside to the hobby. About 4 or 5 years ago, when the Pompeii and the Batman clowns were first being brought onto the market, the Pompeii being a red stripe, spot nose, yellow belly, black pastel clown, and the Batman being a leopard spot nose clown, it quickly became apparent that I needed a spot nose clown in my collection, and I didn't have one, and also couldn't get one here. They are quite uncommon, but I did manage to pick up a pastel spot nose yellow belly male, and he was just a straight spot nose, not het for clown. And at the start of the season 2 years ago, I paired him with my pastel vanilla clown female. I've had her since she was a hatchling, and she had already produced a clutch of eggs for me, but I paired her to the spot nose clown to make my own hets. If I can't buy one, let's start from scratch and let's make one ourselves. So I paired the spot nose male to the clown female and produced a clutch of hets. A very successful clutch, which we'll take a look at now. One of the things that people were asking me at the time was about the need to orient eggs, and this particular clutch I did not orient the eggs. They stayed exactly as they were laid, and the embryos were upside down, back to front, on their sides, all over the place. And I was actually on holiday when this clutch hatched, so let's take a look at the clutch. They hatched out about 6 days ago while I was away. They pipped on day 59 and hatched on day 60 or so, so they had to cut their own way out of their eggs. And the interesting thing about this clutch is that these eggs, I marked them, put them in the egg box exactly as they were laid, and then I candled them, and after candling them I did not reorient the eggs. So some of these eggs, if you watch the setup video for this clutch, some of these eggs were actually upside down or sideways. The embryo wasn't at the top, and for clutch number 1, where I reorientated everything, I got 6 out of 6 eggs hatched. This clutch, where I didn't reorientate and the embryos were all over the place, I had 8 eggs and I've got 8 babies hatched, so absolutely no difference at all. This one, you can see from the crazy pattern, definitely has spot nose in it. It also is pastel. You can see the head is very washed out. I'm not sure whether it's super pastel, but definitely pastel. So this is at least pastel spot nose. And you can see on the sides the extreme amount of blushing and flaming up the sides. So I'm assuming that this is a 4-gene animal. This is a pastel, spot nose, yellow belly and vanilla. It's very, very light coloured, so I think this is also vanilla, a 4-gene animal. This girl is the standout from clutch number 2, the spot nose clutch. This is an example of all the genes combined. So this is super pastel, spot nose, vanilla and yellow belly, all combined into one. It is a female, which is what we were hoping for, so this is the standout. This girl is going nowhere. She'll be part of the breeding team as she grows up, and she is already eating extremely well. If we take a look at her head stamp, you'll see her head is extremely blushed out. The spot behind the neck, and if we have a look at her side pattern, You can see the influence of vanilla and yellow belly. I didn't expect it was going to be this good, but you can see the extreme blushing and the really nice oranges coming through on the side stripes. And if we have a look on her belly there, she's got the classic yellow belly digital pattern. So this is the standout from clutch number 2. This is Super Pastel Spot Nose Vanilla Yellow Belly. So this female down here is the Super Pastel Spot Nose Vanilla Yellow Belly Het for Clowns mum. And I'll just open the tub here just to show you. This is mum, and she is a pastel vanilla clown, and she is due to lay tomorrow, within about 3 days of her daughter laying. So I won't take her out or disturb her anymore, but mum is now a seasoned breeder. This is her 4th clutch for me, so she is still a valuable part of the collection. This year she's been paired to the Leopard Lemon Blast Desert Ghost to produce some more Desert Ghost Clown double hets, this time with vanilla in them, and we're hoping for a lot more females this time. We've been male heavy with the previous clutches. So this is mum to that Spot Nose Het Clown clutch. We'll leave her be for now. And the father to that clutch is this big guy here, of course, is in shed, and this guy here is a pastel Spot Nose Yellow Belly. So between him and mum, they managed to get all the genes into that one Het Clown female, and they're still in my collection, 7 or 8 years old. This girl here, who is deep in shed, is my 100% Het for Clown Super Pastel Spot Nose Vanilla Yellow Belly. So a future powerhouse in my clown projects, and some of the combinations we can produce there are going to be absolutely superb. She's not looking at her best at the moment because she is in shed, but this is again the future of my clown projects. So that clutch hatched almost exactly 2 years ago, and the heavy hitter from that clutch was the female, of course. Many of you will have seen her. She's featured on my YouTube channel many times. She is a Super Pastel Spot Nose Vanilla Yellow Belly Het for Clown. So she contains all the genes that were present in her parents, and she grew tremendously fast. She's been a really good eater, and at the start of this season she weighed over 2 kilos, and she was about 18 months old when I started pairing her, and I paired her to our ex-clown male. Bear in mind the objective here is to produce visual clowns, so I needed to pair her to a visual clown. She is a het in order to increase the odds of getting visual clowns, and the objective here is some spectacular visual spot nose clown combos. So we paired her to an ex-clown male. Let me show you this female. This is a female that's approaching 2 years of age, just shed, and she finished with the male this morning. I took the male out, she just shed, so I left the shed in with the male and they did lock. This is a homegrown female, and she is a Super Pastel Spot Nose Vanilla Yellow Belly Het for Clown. A lot of the ingredients that we need for the Pompeii in this girl, but she is het, and she's being bred to the ex-clown male, which we're not sure what is in there, but we're hoping for some visual clowns that we can use to further our project, and anything that goes towards the Pompeii and Pompeii variants will be most welcome this year. Hopefully some visual spot nose clowns as a minimum. You can see this girl is thickening up quite nicely in the midsection. She's been eating ravenously. She looks like she wants to take a pop at me here, so I won't disturb her too much. She's getting a little bit defensive, but you can see this is a superb multi-gene animal, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if she produces a clutch and what she produces for us. A very special clutch because this is a homegrown female that I produced 2 years ago. Grew on, and she is now a valuable part of my forward plans in the clown project. So this is the Super Pastel Vanilla Spot Nose Yellow Belly Het for Clown female. And the X-Clown is a very distinctive clown from the ARP collection. We're not exactly sure what is in them, but they're easy to identify and distinguish from a normal clown because they're so dark. The male is in shed, but I can show you the female that I have that's coming up to size that is the exact same morph. So it's her brother that I paired to the Spot Nose Het for Clown female. So let's take a look at that. So this is the X-Clown project, guys, and this is the male that I used with that female. He's deep in shed, so you don't really get an impression of what he looks like. So let me show you the female of the exact same X-Clown morph. So here is the female X-Clown. She is actually just coming up to size this year, and you can see that she has a very distinctive row of spots down the side of her flanks, but there's no leopard in this. She has a very dark, high contrast dorsal, very reminiscent of Fire actually, with some donuts along the top, but obviously much darker and higher contrast than Fire. So this is the X-Clown project, and this is also going to be a future project with that male as well. We're going to pair her this coming season to the X-Clown male and try to see whether there is a super form of this variation that we've produced, and try to define what that exactly is. But for now, this X-Clown male was paired to that female to produce the clutch of eggs, so we might get an indication of what is actually in this X-Clown project when that female's clutch of eggs hatches. So that's the X-Clown that I used to pair to that female. And another ovulation. You can see the big swelling here and the classic sucked in tail. This is my Super Pastel Spot Nose Vanilla Yellow Belly Het for Clown female, bred to my X-Clown male. So this will be a very interesting pairing. Some of the outcomes from this could be pretty awesome. Let's just get a look at that ovulation from a different angle. You can see the big swelling. And so I started to pair them, and sure enough, this girl built and built, and finally she ovulated, and we're going to pull the clutch of eggs. So this clutch of eggs is very special. It's a homegrown female. The project itself is getting closer to seeing some spectacular combinations now. The aim is some visual spot nose clowns, but we still need to get that into the right combinations to make Batmans and Pompeys, so that will be the next phase of the project. But this girl was homegrown. I still have her mother in the collection. Her mother is due to lay eggs within days of her daughter, which is just awesome, incredibly satisfying to see mum and daughter laying eggs within days of each other. So we've seen mum, we've seen dad, we've seen the pairing. Let's pull the eggs. Okay, here's the female. We have one roll out egg, which I'll just mark up and remove. That looks like a good egg. Let's get the female off the eggs, see what we got. Female is completely empty, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the roll out, and is that 2 eggs there? 7, 8. I'll just put that back in to get the photo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eggs, one of which is a double. Okay, so there are the eggs, and we've got this weird double egg here, so I'm not sure. Let's candle them and see whether we've got 2 separate embryos there. So what have we got? Good veins, good veins, yeah, good veins. And that is 2 separate embryos, guys. That is 2 separate eggs. There's an embryo here and there's an embryo here. So we do have 2 separate eggs there, and good veins also on this rollout egg. So I'll just mark that one as a rollout. So this is 2 separate eggs. I'm counting that as 2 separate eggs. Let me just shuffle them this way a little bit. We have plenty of room in the egg box. There we go. Plenty of room all the way around. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 embryos there. Mark that on my card. 8 eggs and 0 slugs. And that can go into the incubator. We'll get the female washed off and get a weight on her. Get her back into a refreshed tub, and the job's a good one. So 60 days from now, 9th of November, these eggs should be hatching. So I hope that gives you guys a lot more motivation than the last video, which was a bit of a downer. For every dark cloud there is a silver cloud, and this is the one for me. This is going to be a very special clutch regardless of what we get. I'm on tender hooks now, 60 days until those eggs hatch. I'll keep you guys posted on what we get. Okay guys, for me that is definitely one of the most satisfying moments in the hobby. I set myself a goal several years ago and did not have the right ingredients. I had to make my own hets and breed those back to visual clowns, and This is the result of 4 or 5 years of work, and in order to reach the goal of a Pompeii or a Batman is going to be probably another year or 2 years work, depending upon what we get out of this clutch. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.